The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central Valley. I am your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week, here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. right here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, good morning.
Good morning, friend. How's it going?
I'm doing good, friend. And you?
I'm plugging along.
And the man to your right, Buddy Timmer O'Hare.
That'd be my Irish partner in crime.
I'm back.
He didn't bring me any Guinness today, though.
Wow.
Later. Nice.
Later. It's a little early.
A little early for my Irish friend to be drinking.
For me.
Oh, my
Well, those
goodness.
voices in the studio, Michelle Pettis-Cavalli from Valleywide Homes. Michelle is a licensed realtor. And, you know, I don't mean to sound redundant, but you are my trusted friend.
Thanks, boss.
I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you.
You got my back. I know you do.
Well, I put a target, but nobody's shot at it yet. I'm teasing.
Wow, great. That other voice in the studio, Tim O'Hare.
Good morning.
Mortgage advisor from Valleywide Homes.
Glad to be here.
You do loans, don't you, Timmer?
I do loans.
Valley-wide.
See, if it was you, we'd call you Tim O'Bald.
Wow.
But he is Tim
Hey,
O'Hare.
Johnny, things were going wrong before we came on the air, but I think she caught what you had for breakfast or something like that. Wow.
Good morning. I'm sorry.
Bang.
You know it's all about having fun while we're
Yeah,
here.
when we say redefining radio, we're redefining radio. If they
True.
ever let us come back because of how we've...
Uh-oh, now you're scaring me.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Well, the Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for one full hour each and every week. Our goal with the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home. Didn't that sound sweet? Back home.
That's the whole point, is to get the word out.
It is.
About what it takes to get back in the game. Well, super excited about today's show. We're going to take a look at some of the top stories in the news. And again, no shortage of stories. What trends have we seen in Fresno County over the past year? Also, if you'd like to rebound faster after losing your home or short selling your home, FHA financing might be the perfect match.
Nice.
And guess what 5 states have the highest foreclosure inventories nationally? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to say
Alabama, Alaska.
Yeah.
I got to go through all 50. Hold
Yeah,
tight.
there you go.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. No, and no. All right. And some tips on how to improve your credit scores. If you've fallen on hard times over the last 5 years, you need to stay tuned. We're also going to take some listener questions. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that you hear on our show, call us anytime. It all starts with a phone call, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. You can also check out our resources online. Go to our website, shop for your new home, and listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network by going to REOFresnoHomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valleywide on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valleywide.
To call into the show anytime. For those of you listeners that don't know what Press 4 is, Press 4, again, is for all those times you're away from your computer and you'd like us to share information with you. Just go to the Press 4 website at PRESS4.com or go to your app store and follow the easy setup instructions, and we'll start sharing information with you right away. Well, let's take a look at today's hot property. Well, today's hot property is brought to you by Perfect Inspections. Whether it's residential, multifamily, commercial, use press 4 keywords, Perfect Home Inspections. Or call Jerry Schooley today for your perfect home inspection at 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Well, today's property is, as usual, it's a HUD home, 7211 East Dayton Avenue. Property is located in Fresno, 93727. However, it is Clovis Unified Schools. And it's, let's see here, Shields and Temperance.
Nice.
Great little location. Yeah, really great little location. It's a woodside home. Property's doggone near new. It's about 5 years old, built in 2007. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,545 square feet. Open floor plan. Master bedroom on one side of the house.
Oh,
Kids'
nice.
bedrooms on the other side of the house by the
Perfect.
garage. Gotta love it. Property's listed for $152,500. I tell you what. You know, there was a time a couple years ago when a house like this would be selling for $175 easily.
So, just out of curiosity, my
Yeah.
mortgage friends,
Yes.
3.5% down is, about $5,000 on that house.
Yeah.
How much are our payments? Roughly at 3 to 4%, somewhere in there. When you add it all together, it's pretty
I
economical.
don't have my calculator. Probably
Yeah, should have
$1,100.
Should have prepped him
Show.
for that, but I'm just thinking, $1,000, $1,100,
probably
Oh, yeah.
$1,100.
give
for
or
that.
take,
Yeah.
some change. Nice.
the whole shoot and match.
That's cheaper than most people's rent right now.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's probably even less than that.
Really
Now that I think
nice.
about it.
Okay, sorry. Just side note there.
Property just came on the market. Bids are due by 11/15. So first 10 days, property comes on the market, available for viewings and bid submissions. The 11th day, or the next following business day, all bids are open as if they're received simultaneously, and the highest net to HUD is the offer that's accepted. Extremely important to note. Owner occupants only. So investors
No
need not
investors.
apply. Yeah. Super
Yes.
deal.
In case, they can later if
They
it doesn't
can,
move
exactly. After
correct.
if the property
Okay.
has been on the market for 30 days. So somewhere in the ballpark of, December 7th, I believe, it'll be eligible for investors.
It won't be around then.
Yeah, all this for $152,500. Yeah, you're exactly right. It won't be.
It won't be. Bye-bye.
It'll make it to the 11th day, and that's about it.
Yeah.
You can also save yourself the cost of an appraisal report, which is roughly about $450 because this property has already been appraised. So bidding deadline again is November 15th at 11:59 Central Standard Time. If you'd like more information about today's hot property, please give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958 or use press 4 keywords
KMJ Hot Property.
and we'll send you more information about this hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Well, Fresno County, let's take an in-depth look, or a look back as far as Fresno County is concerned. And let's look at, first and foremost, we've got roughly 1,200. Actually, I was going to stop at 12 and say we've roughly got 12 properties.
It
on the
feels
market.
like 12 properties because I have seen all 1,235 of them at this point, at least 3 times.
Yeah, isn't it amazing?
It is.
1,200 properties. I mean, we're standing roughly at almost at a third of the inventory that we saw at the beginning of the year. September, we saw 645 units sold. We also mentioned in previous shows, Fresno County unemployment drops. Mortgage rates continue to drop at all-time lows. Let's take a real brief comparison as far as year-to-date statistics. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at year-to-date 2012 and compare it. Let's look back to year-to-date, same period of time, January 1st, 2011 to December 31st, 2011. Average sales price was $160,000. Average days on market back in 2011 was 66. Okay. Year to date, 2012, average sales price $170,000.
Wow, a nice tick up.
Yeah, nice $10,000 increase. And average days on market 59. Not surprising that the average days on market has actually dropped because of how inventory levels have dropped.
Supply.
Yeah, simple economics, simple supply and demand.
Yep.
They are flying off the shelves, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How are the buyers reacting to the scarcity of properties out there?
Urgency.
Yeah.
They are seeking them with urgency, which is great. I mean, really, truly, if you're a buying agent, as I generally am, it's great because they're actively, consistently pursuing. I was telling Tim, I have a client that he and I are working on together. Clients put in 3 offers. We're out looking tonight because, they're not all accepted.
Right.
But it doesn't discourage them. They're still moving forward. These are young folks who want to buy a house and know that their rent is going nowhere.
Yeah, it sure helps that you're, and I say you are helping to set the right expectation. That here's what to expect when you step off the curb. It's a busy street out there.
And Michelle, it's true that just because you make one offer doesn't mean that you can't have multiple out there.
Well,
correct?
and we've already been rejected by
no,
multiple,
but I'm saying for the people out in the marketplace.
Oh,
to know
no,
that,
absolutely.
Yeah.
As long as you're totally honest and forthcoming with the agents that you're working with and being clear.
Right.
I see no reason for that because they know it is very, very competitive out there. But I do find the first day out shopping is quite an eye-opener for them because they're seeing such few properties. And then the condition
What word
of some
were you
of those,
looking for there?
Few, and then the condition of properties because this is new to them,
right?
These young folk, and but really, I mean, I'm telling you straightforwardly, I love to be helping these buyers. It's fun times, good times.
Well, I tell you, comparing last year, average sales price $160,196. This year, January to year to date this year, 2012, $170,000. So we saw roughly a $10,000 increase. Let's take a look at a much smaller period of time, September 1st, 2011 to November 5th, 2011. Average sales price was $161,766. Average days on market was 60 days on market. So just slightly higher that period of time, which there could be some seasonality that's plugged in there as well, because typically, September, October are very busy months as far as the housing market's concerned. Once everyone comes back from summer vacation and really gets
and it always seems like start of school and the fair too.
Yeah.
For some reason, it
The
shouldn't.
weather.
It shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah. So September 1st, 2012 to November 1st, 2012, average sales price $179,773.
Okay, so what was the difference? I'm sorry, I missed. We had Fresno County.
So we had Fresno County
Before we were talking about, and now.
And now we're talking Fresno County, but we're looking at a much smaller time period.
Oh, okay.
September 1st to November 5th last year.
So just a couple months.
Correct. Comparatively speaking, to September 1st to November 5th this year, $179,773.
Wow.
A difference in an $18,000 difference, almost double when you're looking at this brief span,
Snippet.
this 2 month, this 2 month look back.
Wow.
Comparatively speaking to the entire year. So, what does that tell us as far as? Again, we already know what inventory levels are, and I think the inventory levels help to predict the numbers that we're seeing here.
Pressure on pricing.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
A whole lot of pressure on prices.
Well, and I would say, again, that goes back to my comment on the first day you're out looking, they might make an offer, and even with the comps you're sharing with the client, they may still feel there's negotiation power there quite a bit more than we as agents know. So they may be wanting to go under the asking price or quite a bit under the asking price. And the first day you let them go with it. Honestly, I generally advise them, well, I'm thinking it's probably going to go a little higher. But I want them to see what they're dealing with. And then it'll come back and, sorry, you were way below.
Well,
and that's an education to them, though, the first time they're out, the first day they're out, shopping a little bit because...
I think that's interesting that you bring that up because when you say you let them go out there and experience the rejection, really that's what you're saying.
That
experience
is what
the
you have
rejection
to
of the
do.
market because the market turns around and kicks them in the teeth and says, no, there was 12 offers and
you're $10,000 under what most of them were.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, then. So maybe I should listen to my agent a little better.
It does
and sometimes
confirm it.
that's all it does. And sometimes it just gives them a reality check. Like, wowzers, okay.
If this were dating, this would be speed dating.
Okay, we had a dating conversation a few weeks ago, and it went very poorly. I'm not discussing dating on the show any longer. Just saying. Not even Tim's clients.
Wow.
Alrighty, then, moving on.
Yeah, all right. On that note. Yeah, because what was the comment? You were dating Tim's clients? And,
Yeah, that meant I was out showing them properties, and y'all thought I was serious.
I thought is
I thought you were
that
getting me a date for someone, but that didn't
Oh,
happen.
yeah, I don't think that's what was going on in your minds, boys. Okay, moving on.
I thought it was that you had your clients and then you invited them to the family reunion. And
That
and
is
where
normally.
the dating came in, I have no idea.
Okay, keep
it just
going.
went horribly wrong.
It
Next.
did horribly.
Yeah, exactly. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions, or you'd just like to tell us to stop bickering, give us a call. 800-979-3958. We'd love some intervention. Again, 800-979-3958. You can also check out our resources online, shop for your new home, and get more information.
Yeah,
about,
that'd be good.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you pausing for?
Yeah, that's a theatrical pause.
Oh, okay.
Just so you know.
Great.
All right, listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network by going to Fresnohomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 Keywords.
Friend of Valley White on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 Keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call into the show anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, if you'd like to rebound faster after losing your home or short selling your home, FHA financing might be the perfect match. And also, guess what 5 states have the highest foreclosure inventories nationally?
Colorado, Connecticut.
Stop it. I told you I'm not going to tell you. Got to stay tuned. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use Press 4 Keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, foreclosures are falling across our amazing country, but they still make up such a huge chunk of some of the housing markets out there. Well, CoreLogic reveals in a report on September housing data that the following states have the highest foreclosure inventories. Okay, you guys guess.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you for making sure it is not a governmental entity that you're pulling numbers from. Second of all,
you always get a little tweaked when I start saying, so where'd you get those stats at?
Yeah.
Well, the Obama administration's report from...
Okay. Okay, I think it's Colorado.
No.
Well, I'm done then.
Tim.
California.
No. Ironically, no.
We both did C states.
Arizona?
That's as far as I got in my ABC.
Yeah, Nevada.
Nevada I had on my list.
Nevada, okay.
Florida I had on my list.
Illinois.
Oh.
Okay. Number 4. New York, as if they needed any more problems. New York, New Jersey. Yeah.
Well, at least half the houses that are in the ocean were empty. Just kidding.
I cannot believe you went there.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Honestly. Okay,
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
So New York, New Jersey, and then Florida.
Okay, Florida.
And this was as of what date?
September. Housing data report.
Florida, New Jersey, Illinois.
I think the banks have a lot to do with where the foreclosures are taking place.
Yeah.
Because I know
There's
that
a direct
California,
correlation.
Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, Florida were all in the top 5s for quite a few months. And now suddenly we're not. And all these other states that we're not in are.
Yeah. Any ideas or just curiosity? The 5 states with the lowest foreclosure inventories: Wyoming, Alaska, North Dakota, Nebraska, and South Dakota.
least populated.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't there like 14 people that live in all those states combined?
No.
They're all brothers and
More than
sisters, I
that. But I
believe.
think Florida and Nevada both are very much retirement communities as well as second home communities.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So I think those got hit pretty hard because of that.
True.
I hear you can get a rockin' condo in Florida with a view of the water. Not necessarily on the water, but with a view of the water. Very reasonable.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we should take a business trip, all of us, and go check it out.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Well, foreclosed homeowners, I tell you what, if you're looking to rebound, and you've had a foreclosure, unfortunately, in the last 5 years, or you had a short sale within the last 5 years, and you were delinquent prior to closing the short sale, well, foreclosed homeowners nationally look to rebound faster with FHA financing. Why is that, Timmer?
Less time needed after the foreclosure.
Yeah.
If you go conventional lending, it's 7 years.
Yeah.
3 years for FHA. So
3 years, honestly, is it's
Blink in time.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. It might, if you're staring down the barrel of a foreclosure and it's just been a couple months, it may seem like a long time. And
yeah, when you're in the process, I'm
Yeah.
sure it seems like forever. But
And this all goes back to who is purchasing these mortgages.
Yeah.
And I think that's something the public needs to know. Conventional mortgages are being purchased by independent or individual investor type
and all underwritten
entities.
To conventional guidelines,
Correct.
which are set by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the government-sponsored enterprises that are under conservatorship by the federal government right at the moment. Whereas FHA, and we talked in last week's show, FHA really, where would we be without the Federal Housing Administration? And just a simple FHA loan over the last 5 years.
Correct.
Seriously.
and the rates on those FHA loans are better than the conventional as well. So, I mean,
Well, you have
we
the
can-
insurance in place, which protects the
protects the lender.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Helps to create greater liquidity in the market. So it is much easier, as the article states from Realtor Magazine, it is much easier to rebound after you have had a foreclosure or a short sale. FHA financing is just so much, it's just so much easier to work with.
Well,
when
it's a
it comes
little
right
clean.
down
It's
to
a little cut and dry too. It's fairly cut and dry.
Well,
First.
yes and no. It's how I was trained on it quite a few years ago was FHA is a story. Does the story make sense?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if you were out of work for a while, does the story make sense why you're out of work? Does the
Tim's a
story
great
make
storyteller because and I'm being serious when it comes right down to it. You've got to do a great job of piecing the story together and making it make
sense? You got
sense.
to present.
Yep. It's all about the
Presentation is
presentation.
all.
Well, would you expect also that homeownership rates are expected to rise soon?
I would.
Yeah. Another sign of economic recovery, the homeownership rate is no longer following. Over the last 5 years, it has dropped at a high of 70%. It remained unchanged from the previous quarter, now standing currently at 65.5% in the third quarter. The Commerce Department reported this past week. A year ago, the homeownership rate stood at 66.3%. The homeownership rate, as I mentioned, is still far from the 70% that we saw during the peak of the housing boom. And the rate the rate started to drop soon after as the number of foreclosures began to soar, yet foreclosures are starting to slow. Good news as far as the market's concerned. So what is this? Does this answer the question? Have we hit bottom?
I think locally, generally,
I don't know. I thought we hit bottom a long time ago, but it
Yeah.
seems
we're rebuilding here. I don't know what everybody
it's like
else
labyrinth. We keep finding another way to go down.
Not locally, though. I really feel like we have a strong market
I don't
locally.
mean that the way it sounds because that sounds a little bit too cynical. But I would have thought we would have hit bottom already.
Yeah.
So
I firmly believe we've already hit bottom. When you look at the stats that we looked at earlier, as far as if we haven't hit bottom and prices are headed the other direction,
Right.
I don't see how we can have a direct or an
And again, that's our little microcosm.
Yeah, yeah.
Our microcosm is becoming healthy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're starting to see that growth.
So how long before we see another mini bubble? What are the perfect conditions in our little petri dish here to actually see a bubble again?
construction.
Okay. What other variables will play into that?
Jobs.
Okay. Jobs. So unemployment
Yeah.
Yes.
or employment.
If
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the housing market with the construction is going to bring jobs because it's it has the trickle-down effect. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
and
to,
we've already
to
seen-
quote that,
we
but
have
it's
already
true.
seen
It's like
that.
one out of every, no. I don't remember the statistic, but it was a huge number of jobs are affected by construction here in our local valley.
Sure.
So we have ag and we have construction. And thank God we have ag here locally because that's keeping our valley moving and trucking along.
Right.
But we're starting to see growth in the new construction as well. So, yeah, I think unemployment keeps going down or goes down here in the valley, and we will see growth in that area.
If we see mortgage interest rates stay low, again, that's another huge variable that will help us along as far as our...
For the clients to be able to qualify,
Yeah.
sure.
Correct, because, I mean, really, when you start thinking about it, legitimately, rents are higher than purchases right now in certain, numbers. So you get a little more income coming into those folks, and they're out buying.
Yeah, most definitely. Let's talk about homes are selling faster as inventories fall. Now, that might sound like a local...
Inventory keeps falling.
Yeah, that might sound like a local plug, but it's not. Median time a home is on the market nationwide, just 69 days.
Nice.
And it's fallen nearly 30% from levels that we saw a year ago. That's absolutely amazing to me. Again, it is an average because it doesn't take into consideration those markets like Columbus, Ohio, as we've mentioned in past shows, Detroit, Michigan, Atlanta, Georgia. It does take into consideration those markets, but if you pulled those markets out of the actual equation, inventory levels are much, much higher. And again, those are areas that have been hit.
This is kind of a little bit off the subject matter, but you were talking about New Jersey earlier, and with the obviously the destruction of the housing, the shoreline, I guess. I'm kind of interested to see that if those houses, if they are rebuilt, is the market value going to be much higher for those homes, or is it going to be less because of where it's located with people being scared living in that?
Well, I think it's kind of like the coastal
that's a
regions
good
of
point.
California. We have.
I mean, if there's a silver lining, I would like to put the silver lining in that. Hopefully,
I
these
think
people
they're
will
gonna
get a new home out of the situation.
Yeah.
Might increase property values in that area. I don't know.
I think natural disasters tend to be. The insurance ratings apply, but at the same time, we have cliffs that fall into California's oceans periodically, and those coastal properties are still millions of dollars. So I don't know that you're going to see them fall because of this.
Yeah, I hope not. That they've had enough devastation. So.
Yeah, that would definitely be adding insult to injury, that's for sure. Well, let's also take a look at Wells Fargo pays out. Once again, Wells Fargo's opening their pocketbook.
I'm waiting for the check to arrive.
Yeah. Hey, you're still waiting for the Bank of America check from a couple weeks back.
And you know what? I'm a little disappointed. My callers have not called and spoken of the
Bank of America. Hey, we're going to pay off your second.
I haven't heard anybody that has been
I haven't
affected
gotten
directly by
one
it.
call, no.
So if you're out there and you got that benefit, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah, well, thousands of Wells Fargo and Company home loan customers recently received a surprise in the mail. Refund checks from the big bank, along with letters stating that they had paid unnecessary fees for their mortgages. The unsolicited offers of thousands of dollars arrived with a catch. If the borrower cashes the checks, they can't later sue the number one U.S. Where in the print and how small does it have to be? Can't sue the number one U.S. home lender, the San Francisco-based bank said in a letter to borrowers.
Oh, my goodness.
Who were put into more expensive loans than they would have qualified for. Interesting.
Yeah.
We shystered you.
Yeah.
In a
we
nice
got
way.
you.
See, I don't.
And
Surprise.
now here's a little check back. If you cash it, you're done. We're done.
Yeah.
We don't ever
Yep.
have to talk again. Nice. I like
And
that.
the estimate was that approximately 10,000 letters went out.
How did they justify
Was that just in California? Where
We
was
should sue them just for sending the letter.
I don't believe it was just, yeah.
Sorry.
I think this also was a result
I have a
of,
different take on it.
what's that?
Well, I think some of the times, the banks are not necessarily at fault. However, there's such a uproar from the general public that they felt like that they got taken advantage of, that it's easier just to shut them up by settling, as opposed to fighting in law.
Timmer, don't think. Don't think
one,
that
Tim.
wasn't the case. The refunds came to light when the Los Angeles Times obtained a copy of one of the letters. The bank never announced this publicly.
I didn't receive one.
Let me give you an example. Can I
On the
do an
down low
example?
there, kids.
It would be like, we all hear and see of these class action lawsuits in neighborhoods.
Sure.
Okay. How would we feel if the builder, people were talking about doing a class action, so they said, oh, wait, no, let's send a letter out and let's give them a $500 or $5,000 rebate on their house that they're living in currently because
we're going to buy them out.
Because we didn't do what we were supposed to. I don't know.
It
sounds like blackmail money to me.
It is.
Well,
we would not be okay with that. I don't think we would.
Coin. Yeah.
Your house is, the foundation is unstable, but here's your $10,000 check. Now go away.
And there's mold in your window.
Yeah. I think we would not be okay with that as consumers.
Well, the tax implications of mortgage debt forgiveness looks like it's going to be running out here. But we're going to talk later in the show as to really, is it something that you want to be concerned about right at the moment? Interesting. Well, if you have any real estate or mortgage related questions, or you just like to, again, call us. Give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. We'd love to hear from you. You can also check out our resources online. Go to our website, search for your new home, or listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network by going to Fresnohomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keyword.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call into us anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, what to expect as a buyer and a seller during the holiday months? What's the landscape going to look around the holidays for you? Make sure you stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valley White Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valley White Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at reofresnohomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valley White Homes to work for you. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country? The whole country. From Pete's Seats right here in Fresno. If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events. Local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097, and take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, what should you as a buyer, or for that matter, as a seller, expect during the holidays? What have we seen in the past, and what should you expect to see this holiday season?
As far as shopping for my houses? I mean, really, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah,
Let's talk
of
about
course.
It. Because I honestly think this is going to be a rockin' holiday season in housing. I do. I think people are going to continue as we're seeing it right now, which is an unusual time during the winter months. Mm-hmm. But I do think we're going to see that activity. I also think some really effective sales can be happening during the holidays based on where do you want to put your dollars right now? Do you want to put them on your credit card and, charge up the cards for Christmas and do things like that? Or do you want to make a housing change, which is more effective for your pocketbook. I think people are going to be focused on that.
So let's back it up real quick. So typically in the past, or traditionally, what we would see around the holiday seasons is after Thanksgiving, things would tend to, after Thanksgiving and before the first of the year, things would tend to slow down a little bit. We would see people or folks tend to focus on what? Your Christmas party, leading up to the holidays, getting together with family, and then after the first of the year, after the first of the year, depending upon the weather, that's I think we call it the seasonal lull. You would expect to see folks they're curling up in front of the fireplace under their blankies and waiting for the sun to come out. And the moment that the sun comes out in January, people start getting back out there.
Yeah, but
not this year.
But I think we live in a very moderate seasonal place, so we're not fighting 10 feet of snow when we walk out our doors. So I don't see that as being an issue for folks. And I do see that I think a good number of our young folks, at least the ones I'm dealing with, I see that they have come back full circle, and where miscellaneous expenditures were a high priority for the generation previous, I see them being a little more thoughtful about where they're putting their dollars. Yeah.
How many of the folks that you're dealing with right at the moment are re-entering the housing market, or this is their first time?
First time. A lot of first-timers.
So do you think that the first-timers actually have that perspective, though, Michelle?
I think they may.
Yeah? Why do you think that is?
Well, I've even heard stories of folks who said, I saw my parents lose their house, or I saw my family or my friends, or whatever. I think people are coming back home to where they've reprioritized family and home and some of those things where the generation before was very materialistic.
And maybe they don't want to make the same mistakes that mom and dad make.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
Yeah. And I think that's just my impression.
And maybe they've just realized that it can't last forever like some people thought it did the last bubble.
Maybe. But I do see a more focus on family and a more focus on long-term expenditures versus short-term expenditures.
Yeah.
That's just my
Now's definitely the time to get in the game. So what we should expect through the end of this year and into January. Granted, thus far that we've seen the weather has been extremely mild.
Beautiful.
Probably a little warmer than normal. I shouldn't say probably, definitely a little warmer than normal. So through the end of the year, expect that sales are going to continue to be brisk. And if there's really anything, any sort of dip, it's not going to really be noticeable because inventory levels are so low.
Right.
Expect that you're not going to get any time off as a buyer if you really want to get out there and find your next home.
Correct. Correct. And those who want to be sellers, this is an opportune time to be a sale right now. You can limit your exposure to the market and have set open houses or set times and dates that you want to make your home available. Yeah. And what better time to have people coming through than when you have your Christmas ornaments out and things of that nature.
I think that's
to fall in love with your house.
Yeah, totally. I think that is huge. When we were talking before the show is what a better way to present or to package your home. Christmas pun intended.
At the Christmas season.
Yeah, it is at the Christmas season.
Exactly.
And how many folks are going to walk in if you really do a great job? Your house is uncluttered. You've got a nice tree. You've got some presents under your tree.
It doesn't look like the Chevy Chase Vacation.
No, not so much.
I can loan you lights if you like. But honestly, and the sale will not be complete till the holidays are over.
Yeah.
You don't have to fear that because we were talking about average marketing time, and average time to close is definitely going to be 2 to 3 months out by the time it's done.
So you list your home now, and we're in the into the second week as far as November is concerned. You list your home now, and
you're in contract by the end of the year.
Yeah, in contract by the end of the year, but it might take 45 to 60 days after that. Yeah.
It's a perfect time, really. It really is.
Yeah, So the moral of the story is, as a seller, don't fall asleep at the wheel and think that folks aren't going to be out looking during the holidays.
I know my buyers are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're anxious. Very anxious out there.
And here's the other thing is, with the stats that we were looking at earlier, that we've seen an $18,000 increase over the same period of time last year, September 1st to November 5th. Comparatively speaking, that's 10%.
That's huge.
That's a big
jump.
10% when you're talking 170 some to 180, high 180s in Fresno County.
Right.
Huge jump. So don't take any time off.
No,
yeah,
I'm not.
During the holidays.
Well, no, I am. I'm taking a little bit of time off.
Are you
Should
really?
I tell you now, or should I write it down?
No, it's too many.
Surprise us.
Yeah, surprise
you. I'm not here today.
Will we know that you're not there? Yes, we will. That's a stupid question. Well, mortgage relief is coming to disaster victims and homeowners hit hard by Superstorm Sandy as government agencies and major lenders roll out plans to offer them breaks on mortgage payments and other types of financial assistance. Well, Fannie Mae, just to name a few. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, we've got Freddie Mac, we've got Fannie Mae, we've got J.P. Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Citibank. It's a combination of whether it's financial assistance, whether it is forbearance, and forbearance is it's basically giving you the ability to take some time off as far as payments are concerned.
Relief of payments for a couple of months. And then,
nice.
Yeah, exactly. They're also looking at, Citibank also is suspending foreclosure sales within federally designated disaster areas for 90 days, as well as waiving late fees for payment charges for borrowers unable to get mortgage payments in on time.
Nice.
Now, here's painting a picture real quick, because it is extremely, extremely important that folks band together, and I can't even imagine, the long lines and gas rationing and even days and odd days. And what if you were in one of those subdivisions and I don't recall the name of the actual town, but it was wiped out by a fire, and you've got a mortgage.
I think.
Breezy, there you go.
Yeah. And
you've got a payment to make, and your home's not there.
Well, not only is it not there, you don't know who to call. You don't have cell phone service. You don't have basic utilities, basic ways of communicating and getting the information you need to find out who to call.
And do you keep making your payments?
I would think that the bank is not going to. What are they going to go after?
Yeah.
What is there to foreclose on?
Well, it's an insurance issue at this point.
It is the reason why you maintain homeowners insurance.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And hopefully, God forbid, none of those folks did not have homeowners insurance. But
where would you start, and why would that be your first concern?
Yeah.
That's
honestly,
what I'm thinking.
Honestly, just survival would be your first concern.
Feeding your family, keeping them sheltered. Yeah, that's my concern, not the big banks, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness that we do have some relief for those victims back east. Foreclosures fall to a 5-year low. Now, this is some news that we've been looking for.
Not a government.
No, this is not this is actually from CNN Money.
Oh, great. Yeah. Thank you.
The wave of foreclosures hitting the nation's housing market has been much less severe than anticipated, with foreclosure filings at their lowest level in 5 years last month, according to the report that was out this past week.
Well, okay.
Yeah, there was 427,000 properties this past September, which was a 7% decline from August, and down from more than 16% from a year earlier, according to the report that was released this past week by Realty Track. That's huge. That's the lowest numbers of filings since September 2007. That's like saying, remember when? Remember what you were doing in September 2007?
But do we feel good about these numbers? Really? It's been an election month. And then additionally, on top of that, who files them? The big banks, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
But those have been in process for months, if not years.
But the actual filing of a foreclosure is done by the institutions.
Correct, but what I'm saying is
not by the consumer.
The consumer hasn't made their payments for months,
right?
If they're filing at that point, so it's been a time period. It's not just happened over.
No. I get that, but I'm just wondering about the information here.
Well, even with the postponement of foreclosures, when the robo-signing agreement came to light in September of 2007,
did we see this kind of decline?
That's the thing is, they were still at some higher levels. Now, even since there was the robo-signing settlement was finalized back in the first quarter of this year, 2012. We've still seen a decrease over last year.
And I wonder what the correlation is between that and short sales. Has short sales increased?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think they may be.
Because I think that's a better choice as opposed to foreclose and just go to a short sale. From a credit standpoint, it's the same.
Well, and the institutions like it.
Most definitely they do. And we had taken a look at some stats that lending institutions will net roughly somewhere in the ballpark of about 23% more on a short sale. And
the property's most likely going to be maintained in decent status. It's not going to get vandalized, hopefully.
Because someone will be residing in the property till it's done.
Right.
Generally now.
So, and that's another option for clients out there that are maybe in a situation where they're not making their payments is definitely consider a short sale with Michelle, with Craig, somebody.
Yeah. Well, interest rates Tim, I know this is your favorite doggone topic. Interest rates at an all-time historic low, it's easy to get complacent and take them for granted. We can, trust me. A look back can only help you to remind how good we have it now. Well, the average interest rate for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage by decade in the 1980s, guess what the average mortgage interest rate was? Now, remember, we saw that prime was up at, 18%? Prime lending rate? So what do you think the average mortgage rate was for 1980?
21.5.
12.7% for the 80s.
Look at him giggle. 12.7. That's
ridiculous.
high.
90s. I bought my first home in,
I want to say it was in the 9s.
My first home was bought in the 90s. And
8.1%.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
How about 2000s? So beginning of 2000s, we saw rates.
6.5.
After 9/11, we saw rates begin to drop. 6.3. Bam.
Close, Timmers. You're
really
close.
Good job, buddy. Now, more recently, 2010.
2010, I actually think that was a little bit higher, like
Actually, no.
5.5, 5.75?
4.69%.
Okay, I'm completely
now,
wrong.
2011 was really close, 4.45%. Now, the highest that we have seen as far as mortgage rates are concerned, October 1981. That was my, I was...
Wow.
You were
okay,
young.
81.
Anyway, 18.45%. And the lowest, September of 2012. Just a couple months ago, 3.47%.
That's average.
That's average.
Now, what I find so interesting is whenever we reflect about rates and how effective they are, we can always reflect on the 80s and how
Ugly
housing...
they were.
Well, I mean, rates were, astronomical compared to where we're at now.
Yeah,
sure.
But the housing was still moving.
Yeah.
We were still buying and selling houses.
Well, it's a funny concept, but people got to live somewhere.
Really?
It's a funny concept.
Thanks for sharing that tidbit, Timmers. Wow, moving right along.
Well, again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Tim or Michelle or myself share with you here on the show today, call us anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can also check out our resources online. Go to our website. Search for your new home or listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network at reofresnohomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
That's such a dainty voice you've got there.
You know, it's
Where'd
because
you
I'm
find
getting
that?
ready to kick Tim under the table.
Are you
here.
really?
Yeah,
Or use
on
press 4
everything.
keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
To call into us anytime, guys. We'd love to hear from you. Well, coming up, I have a credit score of 600, but I have a great job. Can I qualify for a home loan? We're also going to have some tips on how to improve your credit scores. And I just listed my home. We're upside down, and we're trying to sell before January 1st, 2013. What if we don't close? Those are some great listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping to redefine real estate on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley White help. Valley White Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free 800-979-3958 and put the seasoned professionals at Valley White Homes to work for you. Valley White Homes, NMLS number 342062. 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at Pete'sSeats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097. And take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, guys, Jill from Fresno wants to know, my credit score is around 600. Yeah, I have a great paying job. Can I qualify to buy a home? Timmer?
I'd have to look at her credit score, but I'm not discounting it and saying no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's investors that go below 600 FICO.
Mm-hmm.
So
FHA first.
So don't get discouraged and say, oh, I found out my score, I'm not going to be able to qualify.
Don't make assumptions.
All is
do
not
not make
lost.
assumptions.
Educate yourself.
Yep.
Okay.
FHA, just to clarify, will allow credit for credit scores down to 500. It's the individual investors
That's their overlays
that have overlays that say we will only buy so deep. So most are at 640, but there are some that will go below that. Correct?
That is correct. Yeah. One thing I would say with a lower score like that, I don't know who this individual is, but with a lower score like that, one thing that they do need to set themselves up with, if at all possible, is to start showing proof of paying rent by a check, because that is one of the key ingredients to getting a home. If you've got no credit history, limited credit history, or poorer score, if you can show rental history that you paid on time each and every month for the last 12 months, even if you're paying mom and dad, if you're paying them a check of $250 a month, they're cashing it, it's going through the system, that shows they have responsibility.
Right. And like you had mentioned as well, what resource did they get the credit score from? Did they get all three credit scores? Because she just said 600.
Right.
Most consumers don't know that it's
a tri-merge bureau.
It is a tri-merge, so it's a 3-bureau mortgage credit report where they utilize the middle of 3 or the lowest of 2 credit scores.
Correct.
Well, and then improvement.
Yeah.
One of the things you mentioned as well.
What is the room for improvement?
Right.
A couple of things that can be done. One is there any erroneous information that's on there that we could eliminate?
Oh, good point.
So, it might be a situation if it's not myself, somebody else can look at the credit report and take a look at it. The other one is a huge issue is, do you have any recent lates? So did you have a recent car payment that was 30 days late? That's really going to affect you. But 6 months down the road, it's going to start to fall off. Your credit scores will start to build up. The other issue, or not issue, but ways of controlling your credit score is do not be at the high of your balances. So if you got a $1,000 limit, don't be at $995. Be at $400.
Or over as well.
Or over kills it,
Well, and if you're not a buyer today, we want to help you get to be a buyer eventually.
Yeah.
So what can we do specifically on those line items that can help you?
It's all about planning.
It's education.
And understanding where you're at today. Getting yourself educated is what you've got to do. And I know that you tell folks you may not be able to qualify today, or might be tomorrow, or the next day, or the following day, or the next month, or 2 months or 6 months from now.
But you won't know if you don't seek out that information.
I have a couple of clients that I'm getting into the home right now that I've started about 8 months ago.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's the thing. Build the roadmap. That's what we advise. Get your roadmap going.
Keep your revolving balances down. Pay your bills on time. If you go to the hospital and there's a deductible, make sure you pay it.
And pay your rent by a check.
And if you'd like a mortgage professional, all you have to do is call Timmer at 349-0789. And Timmer will help you. He'll hold your hand. He won't date you like Michelle will, but he'll hold your hand.
Wow. Oh, I can't believe you are so honored today.
Yeah. Art
it's
from
flying
Clovis.
In here.
Art from Clovis has a question. I listed my home, and we are upside down. Very common. And we're trying to sell before January 1st, 2013. What if we don't close?
Can I ask why? Why are we trying to close before?
Well, obviously he is
January
trying to
1st?
not fall off the fiscal cliff, and he's worried about the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act actually expiring December 31st.
Well, I think he's probably one of the many.
Yeah.
And no one can foresee the future of what's going to
Correct.
happen. So I think relax.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned and we'll keep you up to date.
Continue to do your best.
Correct.
Yep.
Do not list your home because
Don't
of
be
it.
desperate.
Yeah.
Well, because here's the thing. You short-sold your home for some reason. Let's make sure we don't lose sight of that reason.
Yeah. Just stay focused on the goal.
Correct.
Totally agree. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Tim, Michelle, or myself share with you on our show, please call us, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Or you can go to our website and check out our resources online, search for your new home, or listen to past shows from the Real Estate Radio Network by going to REOFresnoHomes.com. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley White on Facebook.
Or if you'd like to call into the show, use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley White.
We'd love to hear from you. Well, a big thank you to my special guest hosts this morning, Tim O'Hare, mortgage advisor from Valley White Homes. If you'd like information about how to get pre-approved, or if you need some help as far as your credit report's concerned, call Tim, 349-0789. Again, that's 349-0789. A big thank you to Michelle Pettis-Cavalli, my special co-host. Michelle, thanks so much for joining us. And getting up early.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Anytime, friend.
All right. Well, our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home.
Again, don't forget to tune in to the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday at 7 a.m. right here on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Make it a great day, Central Valley, and we will see you next week.
The preceding program was paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.